Hey everyone, it's A Little Mo Crafty with you on the A Little Mo Crafty YouTube channel. I am so glad to be back with you today. It's been a few weeks since I've posted a video, but I wanted to share a new line of papers and dies that I've been working with recently, and it is actually from the Keep It Simple Paper Crafts line. So we're going to make a shaped card today out of their products. This is a brand new die cut set called the Vintage Truck. And it's got several pieces to build with. This can make shaped cards or images for your scrapbook pages, or even just a card in of itself. It's a really, really fun set and is so versatile. We've been making tons of items with this particular die set. And then I'm also choosing a really pretty paper line from Keep It Simple Paper Crafts as well. And this is actually called the Namaste at Home. And they have some really fun florals and some fun sayings and things like that to work with. And I decided I was going to turn my vintage truck into a shape card, and I'm going to make it a wedding card. So to start with a shaped cut die, in order to make it a shaped card, what you do is you take your outline card base and you just overlap it slightly on the edge of the fold in a folded card. You run that through your machine, and then that gives you the fold of your card. So we're going to lay this out flat, and then we're going to actually add some of the cuts that come with the set. Now, the first cut is the larger base cut, and that can be in a different color tone or the same color tone depending on what you're making. And you just adhere that with a tiny bit of glue. By the way, I like the Bearly Arts glue, and I use just a really tiny little line of glue around the edges that just keeps it from getting too wet and bumpy looking. So we're just going to adhere some glue around the edge. Notice how these papers actually have a really pretty second side too. It's sometimes hard to choose what paper to work with. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the base. Okay, now this is actually the trunk of the truck, and I'm going to just adhere it the way it is. But I also was thinking that this would be a really fun opportunity to even put this up on Pop Dots and maybe make it like a pocket or something. So I'm just going to adhere it flat for today, and that becomes the back of my truck. So there are several other pieces that come with this. You can use them or not, depending on what kind of project you're making. I have cut out in some black cardstock the ridged wheels that will be adhered on. And just again, using a really thin line of paper, a glue, to put those on. And the fun thing is that little zigzag that's in the cut, if you put that over white, it immediately makes it look like a tire. If you have any little extra pieces, it's always helpful to get a little pick to get those out. Okay, so next, let's do the bumper. So I've done this in just a craft cardstock, if you will. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the bumper too. The little tiny arrows that come on the die cut actually point upward. You can trim those off too if you want, but it actually makes it look a little bit more like a wheelbase if you leave those on. And now I'm going to use the window cut. So this is in a shimmer cardstock, like a silvery white cardstock, make it look like a window, and adhere that on as well. And I've cut the little mirror pieces in that same paper. I love the kind of pastel theme that's going on with this card. Again, this is going to be sort of a wedding card, if you will, and really fun for spring. So now the paper that I've chosen is actually from the Back to Basics Jade collection. And that is sort of, it's various shades of green, if you will, striped and polka dots and plains and all pretty colors of jade. And they have all the different colors for you to choose from as well. I love how all the papers coordinate with each other. So definitely check those out. Okay, and then a little more of the craft cardstock at the top for the end of my truck. And now we're going to start adding some of those finer details. Now, what's really fun about the vintage truck is you can use things like enamel dots, and Keep It Simple carries enamel dots for this reason. In fact, I've made a lot of cards with enamel dots as the lights, and so I'm choosing just the white enamel dots from their product line. But as I was showing you earlier, there is a tiny little circle die as well. So if you don't have the enamel dots or you need it to be more flat, you can go ahead and cut out some lights for your truck as well. Okay, now this is the fun part. This is the decorating, which is the best part of creating trucks, creating cards in general. And so I've actually found this sticker that says happy, and it looks like a little banner hanging off the back of the truck. It was a perfect size for this vintage truck card. All right, now there is another line that I really enjoy, and it is the Back to Basics sentiments that also comes from Keep It Simple Paper Crafts. And so there are lots of different sizes. There are sentiments for both the outside and the inside of the card. So I went ahead and stamped it already, just the saying for you, and I put that on just plain white cardstock. This is going to end up being my license plate. They have lots of other sets. I think I chose from the thank you set, but you can choose from Get Well Soon and other sets that they have available. All right, I still love playing with these enamel dots, to be honest with you. So I decided I was going to put some more on because they just add such a cute pop of color. And so I'm just taking the little mint green ones and putting it on either side of my license plate. Okay, so my truck is coming together, and I was looking at it for a while and trying to decide what I wanted to add to it because it just needed a little more pop. So I'm going to take another sheet of paper from the Nama Stay at Home collection. And this time I have fussy cut out ahead of time for you a couple of the floral bouquets from that particular sheet. And I'm just going to adhere those to the top of the truck drawer, if you will. And so that way it sort of looks like it's coming out of the back of the pickup. And I actually used the flat line from the edge of my paper so I could actually save a little paper for myself too. I love it. It's coming together. I love it. It's so cute. All right, so to give it a little more of a vintage feel, this is one of my favorite techniques. I actually am going to just sponge the edges just slightly with sort of a mint green distress ink and do it all the way around the card. Okay, I've gone ahead and done that for you, and now it's your final embellishments that are the most fun. So I'm taking some twine in the same color scheme. This is a white with some silver and mint inside of it. Tie a bow and some flowers. Thanks for joining me today. Please check out the collection at keepitsimplepapercrafts.com.